Hola, amigos. It's time for the Lowdown on Mexico. I'm Fast Eduardo. At this time of the year, going to someplace nice and warm is something that makes life really special for Special Ed and my lovely wife, Karen. But this year, it was even better because we did it with our friends Vegas Dave and his lovely wife, Allie. Let me tell you about it. We flew down to Orange County and took a shuttle bus up to Long Beach to start our cruise, which was kind of silly because we discovered the embarkation line was so long that it started back in Orange County and ended up in Long Beach. It was the longest line I've ever done. But once you get on the ship, the fun begins. Well, soon after you get on the ship. The cruise is 99.9% fun to me. But there are two things I don't like. First, the long line to embark. Second, the muster grill. That's mustard, not mustard. When I first heard of the muster grill, I thought, great, they have a little practice session to teach you how to dress your hot dogs with condiments before you eat them. But no, the muster grill is a Coast Guard requirement where they pack all the passengers on the lower deck like sardines and tell you how to put on a life jacket. It's also a Coast Guard requirement that all passengers eat a minimum of 12 times a day. In the casual dining department, they have a buffet, a hamburger and hot dog grill, a deli that makes the best sandwiches ever. You've got to try the Reuben. A pizza parlor, a soft ice cream machine, and room service that delivers for free 24 hours a day. It's not a good place for a dieter unless you're on the seafood diet. After sampling all that, you're bound to be hungry, so it's on to dinner. Your waiter on any cruise line remembers all your names and all your preferences. Our waiter Albert was the absolute best I've had on any of the 6 cruises I've been on. It was a pleasure to dine with friends and Uncle Albert every night. There was a little misunderstanding when Dave said my name was Fast Eddy, and Albert thought he said Fat Eddy, which caused peals of laughter from our table that were noticed by the whole dining room. In the dining room, the furnishings were luxurious, and the menu was gourmet, hedonistic, and fattening, as well as delicious. It was hard to decide sometimes, but no problem. Albert would bring us all of them if we wanted, but I've got to tell you, it's not as good as it looks. It's better. The food was excellent, and the waiters would often do a song and dance to entertain us while we gorged ourselves. And after dinner, there was always a big production show in the theater. All the dazzle of a Vegas or Broadway production, and not the same old jazz every night. One night, a musical, the next a comedian, then a ventriloquist. It's late by then, but it's not over until you say it's over. I may be old, but the night is young. Deck parties are rocking the ship. Big money is being won and lost in the casino. There's dancing in a rock club, sing-alongs in the piano bar, and a solo performer strumming a guitar and bantering with a small crowd of pina colada sipping passengers. When you return to your stateroom to call it a night, it's nice to order up a plate of chocolate chip cookies and a pot of coffee, and watch the moon and stars glistening over the blue sea from your balcony. The next morning, you wake up when you want and either have them bring you breakfast or go to the buffet for a potpourri of bacon, eggs, sausage, flapjacks, hash browns, or go to the dining room for a fancy breakfast. Then there's games, trivia contests, bingo, ping pong, golf, karaoke. A bar around every corner to grab a cold one. But it doesn't have to be hustle bustle all day every day. Take a dip in the pool or hot tub. Relax on the deck. Look out at the dolphins and whales jumping up to greet you. Read a book or play a game in some of the comfortable, secluded hideaways on the ship. I love sea days. Even if we weren't going anywhere, just sailing around, I'd still love cruising. But then, there are the ports. In Cabo, we haggled with the local vendors for souvenirs, then walked over to Sammy Hagar's famous Cabo Wabo and had a drink and a dance. And then we stopped into a rustic Mexican restaurant for some authentic Mexican cuisine. In Mazatlan, Dave and Ali spiced it up with a salsa making class, some dancing, and drinking in a deluxe luxury hotel. Kurt and I took a tour to see historic architecture from the Sierra Madre. And in Puerto Vallarta, our friends took a bus way out of town and scored some great prices on some gifts to take back home. Karen and I shopped the local flea market right off the pier and walked to the beach. She rode a horse along the shore, while I pounded down a few, talking to some really nice people from Canada in a beach lounge. Both got our feet wet in the warm waters of the Mexican Rivera before returning to the fun of our ship. In some ways, a cruise is a lot like heaven, except it's cheaper. You don't have to pay for it with your life. In fact, I think it's a bargain. If you don't drink, which can make the cost become intoxicating if you're not careful, you can cruise very inexpensively. Where else can you get all this for about $100 a day? Lodging, food, entertainment, and travel to multiple tropical destinations. And if you do like to tip the glass a little, as I do on a cruise, you don't have to worry about getting a DUI. You're treated like kings and queens. You only unpack once, and you have the time of your life. So come on, all you Facebook and YouTube people, sail with me next time. Leave the dishes and the jobs, and free your mind. Stuff your face, and come to the Carnival. You'll meet the nicest people, flee from your worries at 22 knots per hour, and come back 20 pounds heavier, $1,000 poorer, but 200% happier. And that's the Lowdown on cruising to Mexico. Until next time, I'm Fast Eduardo. Hasta la vista, amigos.